It always seems impossible until it's done. Nelson Mandela. DC Tribe, Josh Thomas, super glad to have you here. Hey, be sure that you don't miss another episode of the Do Zone podcast. Subscribe, follow, leave a like, leave a comment, give me 5 stars, or 1 star if it's terrible, on Apple and or Spotify. Just any kind of interaction is really helpful, helps us get the word out. And also want to make sure that you are aware that I have a company called Unbreakable Teams. It is a fractional COO service. If you're an entrepreneur who is looking at setting better goals, building better systems, and building better teams, I'd love to help you out. Go to unbreakableteams.com to learn more about that. So I want to talk to you today about a social media post that I saw a while back, and I just made a note of it at the time because I thought it was really interesting. It was by a lady named Kekuo Kabashigawa, and by the way, that's probably the coolest name that I've ever heard. So Kekuo, if you happen to be listening to this, you have the best name ever, and that means a lot coming from a guy named Josh Thomas. Do you know how many Josh Thomases there are in the world? Thousands, probably hundreds of thousands, but Kekuo Kabashigawa, probably only like 1, maybe 2, like if you have a cool aunt or something. But I want to talk about something that Kekuo shared, and she was talking about the difference between vacation and travel. Because there is actually a difference, and I never really thought about this until she brought it up. She says that when you are on vacation, you are vacating something. When you're traveling, you're just moving. You're experiencing things as they happen. So when you vacate your normal life, it may have a negative connotation to it. If you're vacating something, it means that usually it's like evacuation, vacate the building. I'm going to vacate my presidency or vacate my throne. It's basically like, well, this is all messed up. I'm going to walk away now. I can't take the stress anymore. I'm going to vacate. And if you really think about it, that's the way that we tend to think about vacation. It's literally what the word means, but it's also kind of this figurative escape from your own reality, from your own normal life. Whereas traveling, it doesn't have that negative connotation. Traveling is about seeing, about movement, about experience, about putting things in, not taking things out. When you vacate, you take things out. When you travel, you're soaking in. And I just really wanted to shine a spotlight on this mode of thinking, because if we are in such a miserable situation in our lives that we need to vacate our regular everyday life, our regular everyday relationships, our regular everyday house or situation or surroundings, if it's that bad that you have to vacate it, maybe you should change your surroundings. Maybe you should change the things that you do during the day. Maybe you should change the people who you allow in your life if you feel the need to vacate them. And if it's your job or your business that you're vacating away from, it's certainly fine to take a break. I'm not saying don't take a break, but I'm saying don't vacate. When you vacate, you're vacating your responsibilities. And if your job is that bad that you have to run away from it and escape it and create an entirely different reality from what's actually happening, there's something wrong with your normal life, not the fact that you aren't on vacation enough. We don't need to take more vacations. We need to travel more. We need to experience more. But more importantly, and I'm the biggest advocate of this, I love traveling. I wish that I could be a nomad, and in fact, I'm probably going to be a nomad at some point. Just going to sell my house, burn all my shit, and just go live wherever the heck I want, probably somewhere in Latin America. And so I'm a huge advocate of travel and experience, but I'm not vacating anything. I'm absorbing, I'm taking in. And so you should probably look at, if you feel the need to take a bunch of vacations, first of all, understand, is this a vacation or is it travel with a purpose? Because if it's vacation, rather than spending all of that money, because that money does not provide a return, rather than spending all of that money and all of that time vacating your responsibilities, spend a little bit of that money and a little bit of that time turning back inward and taking a look at what's around in your regular home life right now that is causing that urge and that desire to vacate something else. Take a look at what's happening in your life right now that you need to change. Invest your time in that. Invest your money in that. Don't blow it on a vacation. Because you know what happens with vacation? Vacations end. At some point, you cease to vacate and you have to return. And then what? You haven't addressed anything. You haven't fixed anything. You haven't solved any problems. You're going to go right back into the situation that you were, and you're going to want to vacate it again. The cycle repeats over and over and over again. Travel's great. Travel feeds you. Vacation is an escape. You are ignoring what reality is. Change your reality. Turn your reality into something that you do not want to or no longer need to feel like vacating. Let's eliminate the word vacation to the extent possible from our vocabularies. We don't want to vacate. We want to travel. We want to experience. We want to live. We want to love. We want to find that spirit that you find in travel, in experiencing new things and new cultures, in seeing new environments and new places. But go there with a sense of collection, not a sense of escape. That'll do it for today's episode of The Do Zone. I really appreciate you listening.